I started to cook as a student in the United States. Dorm food was not so good, and realized I needed to cook on my own. So I had an idea, a menu, grocery list that corresponded to it so that I would cook efficiently, and that's how my cooking career started. Little did I know it'll expand so far, but I think like even in school I was cooking Japanese food and Sri Lankan food and simple things like steaks and baking stuff, savory stuff. I think anyone can cook. It's how much attention to detail you pay that makes us different at different varying levels. And I mean, it's an act we all humans do at least 3 times a day or more. And we take joy in that process of eating, consuming. And that's what it's all about. It's having good food and enjoying it. And I think that's my premise of where I start. Doing a restaurant in Sri Lanka is probably one of the hardest cities to do a restaurant. Our import duties are high. Our produce that is grown in Sri Lanka do not have certain standards. If you want to buy, say, capsicum at the same size, you won't get it. You'll get different sizes. So there's no grading process. Whatever grading process we do in Sri Lanka is for the outside world. We grade tea, we grade tuna, we grade lobsters, all for and crab for the outside world. We didn't for ourselves. So those challenges make Colombo, Sri Lanka, a really hard place to do a restaurant. And as you would know, our markets are small. But that never stopped certain people, certain companies, even myself. And we kept on making restaurants, making dishes that were not made for the market, but true to the culinary concept that we were presenting. And that's how you get a varied landscape of restaurants, a culinary landscape, if you will. And I think being original are attributes that gives you strength, and that's how I think we overcame all these challenges. The Chinese New Year, which traditionally sees many Chinese traveling out of China, did not happen this time. And because of that, the restaurant scene, hospitality scene in China itself is booming. In the case of Ministry of Crab in Shanghai, we are about 50% more than, or 75% more than last year, because Chinese New Year we see it as a lull period in Shanghai itself. But this time it was really busy. The Maldives opened up their borders in July, and we've been operational since the last week of August. Again, it was a very painful start, but by January we were almost at pre-COVID levels. So one day I got a call from the embassy saying that they would like to come and meet me, and I thought they were going to ask me about how the pandemic situation is panning out for the restaurant industry, Japanese food and ingredients. And then they said that this happened, and I was nominated by the embassy in Sri Lanka, and the Ministry of Forestry and Fisheries and Agriculture in Japan had made this announcement. So first of all, I'm honored, humbled by this. We work hard, we do what we do, not for recognition and awards, but when it comes our way, truly humbled. I'm kind of proud of the restaurants I've been able to create with Japanese philosophies in the kitchens. Japanese food is a philosophy, and that philosophy is prevalent in the Ministry of Crab. If you look at our menu, the constitution says how many aspects of a Japanese kitchen you can see in ours. Some of the cooking methods, use of soy sauce here, using pepper stock, dashi, it's all Japanese food based. And I think that also played a big role in what I do. Going forward, I think instead of just trying to promote the Japanese food side, I think I will probably promote the Japanese philosophy side, because you still can go to a beautiful country that has amazing seafood and do amazing Japanese cuisine without importing anything. And that philosophical knowledge is what Japanese food can be. So that is my intention. The pandemic situation has brought all of us into a different operational mode, and I think the next 1 year we need to be very mindful, thoughtful, and creative and patient to rebuild the lost year. So for now, new restaurants, no, but I'm hoping to consolidate what we have and maybe expand on those. walking out of the Shangri-La Paris, looking for something to grab to eat, and they said, oh, there's a farmer's market. So walked into it, and at the very end there was a fishmonger selling fish and crabs from Normandy, I think. And there was a bunch of brown crab that were live, and there's a few pieces of claw that was steamed. And I was told you can eat it right now. So curious as to how it tastes, I grabbed one claw and I had it, and it had the same flavor profile of the mud crab. The mud crab's flavor profile resides in the thick shells, and if the shells are not thick as that, it's very difficult to get the same sweetness, same flavors. And curious about this, a few days later, I grabbed a brown crab in London and I cooked it and actually realized this crab does have the potential of its own crab restaurant. So that was a eureka moment, if you will, point of discovery, and that led to about 3 pop-ups in London. And I think we Asians know how to cook crab better than the Europeans.